First thing, kind of, Nate Howard plays last week, didn't play this past week. What's kind of the plan with him? What's going on?
Take that up with Coach Odom. I think Coach Odom addressed that, so that's a Coach Odom question for sure.
Were you encouraged? Were there steps forward last week or not?
You know, the ultimate goal is to win, and we want to play well. There were moments where we had a lot of emotion and, fire at the beginning of the game, and tackling was a little bit better. Obviously, we didn't have that many explosive plays, but what we didn't do is we didn't make the one-on-one plays down the field that we had been making in the season, and so we couldn't get off the field on third down situations. It's some critical moments there. So, just no matter how good or bad you play, a loss is a loss, and guys were really disappointed. That was our seventh loss, I think, and so that kind of puts a little damper on your potential bowl hopes, and so it wasn't good enough.
How frustrating was that 98-yard drive you guys gave up? When it's tied and Drew threw that interception, but I think you're still thinking if the defense can get a stop, you get the ball back still around midfield and in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't ever want to draw the length of the field. That's ideal positioning for a defense to take the field. And like I said, there was 2 third downs there that we didn't make. 2 big plays on their sideline with number 1 catching the ball. We knew he was the go-to guy in those situations, and our guys just didn't make the play. And it's unfortunate, but that drive in particular does stand out for sure. We thought we were playing pretty good and kind of keeping good field position for our team, and so we did give it up there with the not only flipping of the field, but the score did hurt for sure.
Can you explain when you're in coverage? I know not supposed to turn and find the ball too early because you're supposed to play the man, but what the approach, what the kind of balance is, because obviously their receivers made some adjustments and plays in midair.
Well, the one that we didn't make that I think you're referring to was the one on Beisel. He had the guy covered. He didn't look back. He hit him off the shoulder blade. The guy finished. He didn't. And that was the only correction you could make. He had decent coverage, finished through. He's reaching for the ball. You still got to maintain finishing through the ball. He didn't do that. The other one where Arion had a good look on the ball twice, one on the post, the other one on their sideline on the comeback. JG had a good look and didn't make a play. Therese had a good look. He did make a play. The guy bobbled it out of bounds. And so I don't know if we didn't necessarily look back as much as we just didn't make a play. We tried to rake it out the hands. We didn't make those plays, which we had made early in the season by those same guys were making those plays. So just an off day for them and a bad day to have an off day in the secondary.
Speaking of Beisel, how would you assess the play that you've seen from him?
Well, he's brought a lot of juice in the absence of Mike Shear, and he had, I think, double-digit tackles. He's been real vocal, been a lot of emotional leader out there. He's getting comfortable with I think, second start. I think that was his second start. So, what a big deal for him to step up in that absence. We lost Kale again in the first half. First play of the game. And so we hadn't had much luck, whether it's injuries or guys getting ejected out of the game. Just hadn't had much luck. We had counted on him playing a lot in the game, and he goes out on his first play.
What percentage of the calls is Eric making on the field at linebacker?
Well, he's doing a lot of adjustments and checks up front, and I would probably say 67% of the calls go through him. The back end is still having some adjustments to make, but he's really directing our front seven.
Looking at the opposing team's offense, I realize, but have you got a chance to peek at Vanderbilt's defense? And I mean, what do they, as a guy who coaches defense, what do they do well?
Pursuit of the ball and tackle well. Those guys do a really good job, in my opinion. And I've seen some crossover games with them. I think what they're doing is finding a way to get turnovers in red zone as well. And I think I don't think they're playing as many snaps as we're playing for sure. If you're trying to compare the two, I think their offense does a good job of running the ball. They establish the run and they shorten the game down. And so when you're in that situation, you can get stops. They end up being in the teens most of their games, and I think they're really complementing each other in that aspect. But they do a good job. 41's a hell of a player for them, that linebacker. Really, really good player. And I think I've seen a lot from their defensive line as well as the secondary. So they're just doing a good job of keeping the ball in front and maintaining good leverage, and I think they're tackling pretty good too. So.